Hello everyone. In this video I'd like to talk about the Crypto Fear and Greed Index for algorithmic trading with Python. So basically, back in time there was an index developed by CNN, the media channel, which is called the CNN Fear and Greed Index. Indeed, this index was based on the following 7 market momentum: stock price strength, stock price breadth, put and call options, market volatility, safe haven demand, and junk bond demand. So based on these 7 indicators, they built what is called the Fear and Greed Index, which aims at telling us whether the market is in a fear mode or a greed mode at the moment. And later on, with the emergence of cryptocurrencies a few years ago, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index was developed, and it attempts to replicate the famous CNN Fear and Greed Index. So it does take into account market momentum, volatility, survey as dominance trends, and the interesting point here is that it does take into account the social media for 15% of the total weight. And with this, I wanted to investigate to what extent is this indicator useful to predict market prices. It appears that it does. It is indeed useful to some extent, to a limited extent though, because there are some overfitting in my analysis. But if you take it back, indeed there is an overall trend here which is useful. So basically, in the following code, which is available on Github and which is in the description as well, you can see that in the first step we fetch the historical CNN Fear and Greed Index, and then we fetch the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, the historical data, and then we fetch the Bitcoin price as well. When we do that, a few algorithms can be implemented, and among which I developed a basic algorithm which consists in detecting a threshold, whether we want to buy when our fear and greed index is below a threshold or above a threshold, and whether we want to sell below a threshold, after a threshold, or end days after having bought. So all of this can be done with this piece of code that I have written here. And then there is this function here to plot the PNL. When you look at that, so the PNL here is shown on this plot. So it actually starts at 1000. This 1000 here is a reference to say that, let's imagine we start at 1000. What is the current value now? So if we just hold Bitcoin, then we'll be around 2000, 3000. It's the blue line. If we do use the fear and greed strategy above, then we'll be at close to 10,000. Now we do have to note that there is an overfit here where I have chosen the best buy threshold and the best sell threshold. I mean the optimal ones that will return the optimal PNL. But overall, if you modify slightly the buy threshold and the sell threshold, but you remain above 50, you will notice a trend which consists in saying that overall this is better than just holding. So buying with this threshold is still better than just holding. Obviously this assumes a zero fee, which is doable though with many exchanges. Nowadays we have Binance Exchange, which offer 0 fees for the Bitcoin pairs. So if you buy Bitcoin with Euro or USD or USDT or Binance BUSD, etc., then you'll have 0 fees. So this is doable. On the other side, one other strategy which is the opposite of something that works is the following. So it goes back down to from 1,000. It loses much and goes around 300. And the idea here is actually to buy when there is a certain threshold below 50, and to sell when there is a certain threshold which is 20 as well. This is just like random thing which actually does not make sense, but the idea here will be mostly to for you to play around with this threshold and to see that there is overall a trend. If you seek to buy when there is blood in the streets, as the saying goes, this is probably a very bad strategy, as will be shown by the P&L plots. On the other side, if you buy when there is greed and everybody is making bank and is making a lot of money, then that's probably actually a good strategy. So the old saying which says buy when there is blood in the street, it's actually a terrible strategy in crypto for the following reason. Often in crypto, when there is blood in the street, there is even more blood coming. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. What can we do from now? Well, what can be done is that it can be interesting to build this crypto fear and greed index, which was built with Bitcoin data. Well, to build it for Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies such as BNB or whatever cryptocurrencies, and for the social media indicator, which is taken into account in the crypto fear and greed index. It will be interesting to so far it only takes into account Twitter data, and it will be interesting to take into account Reddit data, YouTube data, Discord data, etc. and so on. I would very much like to do a course on that, so if you'd like to if you'd like me to do a course on that, on how to build such indicators for altcoins and taking into account all the social media platforms, consider dropping by the platform quantism.io, and if I see that there is some interest in the comments, then I'll make sure to produce a qualitative course to help you get a grasp on building such an algorithm. Thank you for listening, and consider subscribing to the video. I will do another set of videos, and the other set of videos will be about Twitter sentiment analysis for cryptocurrency trading and how to get historical open, high, low, close price data. Bye bye.